Shit. This bum would never free me and risk a fistfight. He would follow his plan and dance around me like an Indian while I burned like a damn sparkler. He opened the lid of the canister, looking at me with a cold smile. Then he poured out the stinking broth over me. It washed the blood from my body, but burned like fire in my wounds. Another smell joined the pool's chlorine stink and reacted with the stomach acid still burning in my throat. The gasoline vapor gave me trouble breathing, and I coughed a few times. He laid a long trail of gasoline, almost to the large window, to light it from a safe distance. Then he pulled a silver Zippo lighter out of his pocket. The obligatory clacking when he opened the lighter reached my ears. After a few failed attempts to ignite the lighter, he eventually succeeded. The small flame blazed up, casting Castor's face into a mythical light. "Any last pleas for mercy, Hardy?" "Fuck you," I cast the words at him hatefully. I would never beg, especially not with such a cowardly scumbag, who was probably still horny about it. In the face of my imminent end, I closed my eyes and went deep into myself. I wasn't afraid. My father's legacy, which had served me well more than once, did not let me down even now. Suddenly, a deafening bang broke the silence. Immediately afterward, the window front to my left burst into 1,000 shards. A shockwave tore me sideways and slammed me to the floor, breaking the chair. For a moment, the world's volume level lowered, and I looked at Castor, who had also been torn off his legs and thrown against the wall. There were dozens of large glass shards in his body, but they did not prevent him from getting up and running to the destroyed window. Slowly I stood up and walked towards Castor, who was gazing outside as if spellbound. A few steps behind him, I stopped and looked out as well. The iron gate that had been blown open and a flood of undead was pouring onto the estate. Even in the distance I could see no end to the stream of arrivals. They quickly spread all over the grounds, while some guards and soldiers scattered in vain. Those who opposed the horde were overrun and torn to pieces. The wall had protected them all for a long time, but even their superior technology, their weapon systems, and their armed guards could not protect them. Countless screams of slaughtered men reached us as we watched the spectacle. The well-known mumbling and groans, as well as the musty smell of decaying corpses, wafted over us. Probably the other windows of the building had been destroyed by the pressure of the detonation. Very soon, a host of undead would take over the house and pull the flesh from everyone's bones. Esra, the thought shot through my head. So that little boy was still alive, and he was here. And if he were here, maybe the others had made it. I had no idea how they had found us, but the timing couldn't have been better. Slowly, I freed my hands from the wire and rubbed the wounds on my joints. The numb feeling in my hands subsided, and I felt the strong pulse that supplied blood to my limbs again. Castor didn't look around, but he knew that I was behind him, and that there was no escape. "Why all this?" whispered Castor, just loud enough for me to hear. "Why are you destroying everything we have created here? Why did you refuse to cooperate with us? It could have been so easy," he added as he turned to me. "Are you serious?" I replied with a smile as I ran to my clothes and hastily put on my cargo pants. Then I watched as Castor pulled one shard after another out of his body, and then slowly came toward me, looking at me glumly. The blond giant stood in front of me, raised his fists, and remained silently in that pose. Watchfully, he waited for me to strike the first blow. The time of vengeance had finally arrived. Castor had snuffed out too many lives, caused too much pain, and left behind too much misery for him to get away with. Finally, I feel the sense of justice that is mine, I will enjoy removing that arrogant grin from his face. I will abuse his bones and then feed his remains to the undead. And I'm going to take a lot of time with it. That much is certain. Time to die, you bastard.